Hello, everybody. I'm very excited. I'm here with Eric Behanzin. Did I say your name right?
Yes,
Eric?
the French version is Behanzin.
Behanzin. That
Yeah,
sounds
you
even
got it.
better.
Great.
Behanzin. I've been 3 days in Paris and it's already showing.
Yeah.
Eric is a great friend of mine. We met over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And well, the interesting thing about you, there are many interesting things about you, Eric. You're a very interesting character. But you've written a book, which I love. It's called 12 Days, the inspiring story of an entrepreneur who spent 12 days alone without food or water, creating a method to make you rich, happy, and proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So, rich, happy, by not eating or drinking. I think that makes for a very good story. Am I right? Sure. I think viewers will agree that has to be a good story.
Sure.
So since we were here at the conference together, I thought, I saw you. Let's have a chat and introduce you to our viewers and get to know a little bit about your story. I mean, where do you come from? Where are your beginnings? Tell us, who is Eric?
Yeah, I would say first I'm French, from Paris.
French from Paris.
From Paris. That means that
So you were born here?
I was born in Paris, studied in Paris, worked in Paris. My mother is from West Indies, Guadeloupe, and my father is from Benin and Togo. So they met here in Paris, and then I was born there. So I lived all my life, I would say, in Paris. So I would say I'm really around that French culture. And
you're a local boy. You're a local boy. You were born and raised here.
Exactly. And the thing is that I would say my childhood was not really easy because my father was really want me to succeed at school, especially, and I was it was kind of hard for me because I really hated school. So there was something like a fight between my father and I. So it was he was violent. So I was beaten until the age of 16.
Ouch.
And at the age of 19, he put me out of the house. So
he threw you out.
Yeah.
There you go, on your own.
Yeah. So what happened at this moment? My parents, they separated, they divorced, and so I spent 2 years with my mother at this moment. And a little bit before I separated with my father as well, what happened is
Can I ask you a question? Was that the separation of your parents? Was that a reaction to you being thrown out? Did your mom say, "No, that's my son"?
Exactly. So, at this moment, my mother, actually, their relationship was not good.
I imagine.
Of course, there was also other things like couple need, but the thing is. At this moment she said, okay, so I don't want to leave my son, so this is why at this moment decided to divorce. And so from this moment I was extremely angry and extremely shy at the same time. So it was like, because I was really introverted person and an introverted person at this moment, it was very, very hard for me to communicate. For example, I was going to a bakery, it was hard to ask just for a baguette. Because I was so shy.
How old were you when this happening? What?
Yeah, I was maybe 18, 19.
Wow, so your shyness lasted quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot.
Where was that coming from, do you think? Looking back, I mean, it's hard
I would say first, the relationship with my father. I was afraid of everything, right? Moving and everything, and my father was really, really strict. Everything, boom. So when my parents were going to some places, to some friends, and I was always strict in a place, never moving. They were, oh, your child is amazing.
Such a boy.
Sure, such a boy. Of course. Come on, if you move, there is a problem. So from that moment, I was afraid of moving, afraid of talking to people, because each time I would talk, each time I would say or I would express something, boom. So I was angry about my father. Really massive big hatred, really, and at the same time really shy. So from that moment I decided to I found a passion. That passion was music.
Right.
So I bought a guitar, and it was a classic guitar. Remember, I decided to play guitar, and it became my passion. And after I went out of the house, it became the same thing.
Yeah.
So I spent 2 years studies, then go to the military service, because at this moment
Right.
it was
Conscription.
yeah, exactly. And then had several jobs, but I decided to go, okay, I'm going to begin a professional artist, professional singer, musician.
So you went to the army. So here's
Yeah.
a basically shy young man in the army. How did that go? That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah.
Talk about
Exactly.
challenging, right?
Yeah. It was crazy. Like to be true, at the moment, the first 4 weeks I planned to suicide.
Suicide. Okay.
Like it was really tough.
To me, it makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because a young man
Yeah.
doesn't have that many resources.
Sure. So, and like it was so hard for me, because it was the worst, because from what I lived, my biggest value, personal value, was freedom, right? I wanted to be free, because for years I was like in jail for me. So I go out from this place to go to the army, and the first part is the training, and then during the training you can't do what you want. You have to go there, you have to walk this way, you can do this stuff and everything, and it was so hard.
And I imagine they didn't ask you nicely to do things.
Of course not. Like they wake you up at 5 in the morning, shouting, yelling at you, opening the door, the light, and everything. You're like, you just don't understand what's going on. And so, yes, of course it was hard. And the thing is, each time something happened in my life, there was always something that rescued me. And I was supposed to go into the south of France, and finally they changed it, and I stayed in Paris. So, because I stayed in Paris, that means that I could stay close to my friends.
Well, that's helpful.
And then, what I was doing the military service during the day, and in the evening I was working at a fast food restaurant.
Okay.
Huge, big.
They allowed you to do that.
Yeah. Because it was so. I decided to go out from my mother's place, find a home, a roommate, and then begin to share an apartment. So I have to pay the rent.
Right.
So going to
responsibilities.
Sure. So military service, and at the same time working at this restaurant. Did that for 1 year, and after this moment I was like, okay, what am I doing now? So I kept on working on that. Then I worked on telemarketing at the same time, so calls on the phone.
Really, a shy boy doing telemarketing.
Exactly.
Right.
Do you imagine?
You really chose that one.
Yeah. The great telemarketing, music, army. Yeah. So, and of course, at the moment you begin to develop yourself, you begin to understand. Okay, you have to go out, because I was paid not by hour, but on the results.
On the results.
So when you have no results, what happened? You have no money. So you have to be better. So I have to work on my voice, the way I was talking, how to persuade people and everything. So I had to work on that. At the same time, I was doing some concert music.
So you had already started your music?
Yeah, but not professionally, but as an amateur. So I began to do something that we called the music party, like every 21st of June in Paris. And so I was playing there, and in concert in front of everybody, and I wanted to go there deeper and deeper.
How was that as a shy boy? It's interesting with the shyness that you have talked about. You go on stage.
Yeah. Actually, that's crazy. But there is one thing that I wanted to keep, was that passion that I have for music, because it was the only place that was mine. Not touched by my father, because he didn't want me to make some music, anything. And this is why my secret place, this is why my secret garden, I wanted to stay there. So I decided to work hard, play the guitar, learn to sing, and all this stuff so hard. And this is why at the moment, okay, I want to play in front of people. I'm shy, but I want to play. So the passion became bigger, greater than the shyness.
Than the fear.
That the fear, exactly.
Right.
Because
That's the key, isn't it? That's the key to everything.
Exactly.
If your passion is greater than your fear, then and you do the steps.
Exactly.
You move on. You find freedom, because that was your freedom space.
You got it.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
that's it, definitely. This was the place that I was able to express myself, to be myself, to do all this stuff, and give 100% of the energy, the love, the passion I have, right? Because everything I had before was like, okay, I have so many stuff, but I'm like, okay, I don't find my place. I don't find my place. I don't know who I am, so I just found something. And just go for it.
This is really good, because I really believe that at the moment we're having some kind of crisis with young men, and I think this story of yours of resilience, you know, of shyness, of not knowing who you are, of not having freedom, of having to break free, of thinking of suicide. I mean, 75% of all suicides are men. Wow. So, and you didn't go that way. You said. You developed a passion for something that was greater than the fear. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's a great story of resilience. So, tell me one thing. From that, you go, and one day you decide, I'm going to go and not eat or drink for 12 days.
Yeah. So
not everybody does that.
For sure. So okay, long story short, became a professional singer, professional artist, created my first business, music school.
So professional, like getting paid?
Really getting paid. After 8 years, after beginning music, I became a professional singer and gospel singer. Yeah, because you meet a lot of people. Yeah. And at the moment, I began to like make some international tours, traveled in 12 countries, and then...
Was this within the church or
no, it was really outside, secularly. Yeah. Because actually, I would say that I began to sing gospel before going to church, before knowing God and everything. First, I began to sing.
Nice story.
Yeah. So it was different. Like first the music, and then after
then God.
Yeah, exactly. Good. So I went onto the.
So how famous were you? Because I mean, I'm from Australia. Traveled the world. Continue to travel the world. But I'm not aware. Were you well known in France? Are you well known in France now?
So I was not known as a singer, as a personal singer, having my own career.
Right.
I was more like a chorus for all the singers who were really known. In that area. So
like a backup singer.
Yeah, exactly. And so because of that, I was able to make some tours. Like I sang with people who were like the Lion King, the Lion King. Yeah.
Who doesn't know the Lion King?
So for this kind of person, some people who do other big stages or TV shows, or this kind of artists in France. So they are known in France, but not internationally. And so this part really shaped me. Helped me have really more confidence. Right now, I was on stage in front of sometimes 20,000 people. Wow, so big stadiums. So I began to travel in Africa, USA, Europe, Germany. Really big places. The only place I didn't go was Australia at this moment. But yeah, I learned a lot, and my confidence grew again. So
what happened to your shyness through this?
I would say that I forgot my fears.
Okay.
That at the moment you are there is different stuff. There is competence, there is confidence you develop, you do it, experience, you do it again and again, and at the moment you're just at home when you're on stage.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't think about it anymore because you're focused on what you give to people.
Right.
So when
you're just giving, you got out of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the moment something happens, there is a deep connection with people. And of course, when I look back and think about the person, like the teenager I was, so shy, having fear, and now I was on stage, being the first person in front, because after that I had my own choir, and I created my own music school.
Brilliant.
So created my own music school 2005, and then began to build something. Have so many students going on, and it was my first business. And then at this moment, I begin to have that spirituality in my life, for sure. And knew God. I had my revelation. I talk about that in the book, my personal story, everything what happened in detail. And the thing is, what did I decide to fast 12 days? Because of my spirituality, I know that I begin to fast like 1 day or 2 or 3, depends on the connection I have and what you want. And the thing is, I didn't know for years the connection between like the emotional part, the intellectual part, the physical part, the spiritual part. For me, it was just spiritual. That's it. But I didn't know the massive benefits also on the body and the soul and everything. So at the moment I began to make really big researches about health, about all kinds of health, and how can you find real answers. And I finally understood that life is already there, and if you let your body and your soul just resting, everything's going to get better just like that. It was like, oh wow.
The idea of rest.
The idea
of body rest.
Deep rest.
Deep rest.
Not only the body, but also the soul.
Right.
For example, when you sleep, like you don't think about anything, right? And when you don't eat, it is also the digestive rest. So when you have digestive rest, you're in a bed, you sleep, then the body begins to recover and everything. So at the moment I was like, okay, begin 3 years of research. I said, okay, I have a disease problem at this moment, doing eczema a lot everywhere in the body. I wanted to get rid of that. And I had the habit of fasting, dry fasting, so no food or water, but 2, 3, 4 days and a half, but not more.
So you had experience, you had done a bit of experiments with that
before.
Okay.
I had it before, and I wanted to push
go dry to 12 days. Never tried.
Not like that. The biggest part was my 4 days and a half. Right.
But even that is a lot. You went to 12 days. I mean,
there's a massive difference.
Yes.
There's a massive difference.
How did that happen?
Why 12? Because everybody asks me, why 12? Actually, my last appointment was the 6th of July, and I had to take the plane the 20th of July. So, it was between the 7th and the 19th.
They said you couldn't do anymore.
That's it. So actually, I didn't really choose it. The thing is, I asked my team at this moment, I had my new business coaching, and I said, okay, please reserve me a house. I have 12 days, nothing. I don't want to be connected, nothing, no appointment at this moment, just rest. In the beginning, I just wanted to rest. I didn't want to fast.
Right.
But what happened? Like I said, I had the spirituality. At the moment I heard that voice 2 days before saying me something. You remember that book you had to write? I said, yes. Now you have time.
So you heard that voice?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I'm in a trap. Because usually I knew that I have something to write. I have this duty of transmission. But the thing is, I was always trying to find some excuse not to do it. I don't have time, blah, 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 blah. And then I have these 12 days, nothing else to do. I'm like, okay, I have time.
Right.
So I have to do it. So if I have to do it, I have to fast. Because I need inspiration. I want to be 100% connected because it's not my message anymore. And I want to receive the message and put that in the book. So, okay, let's go for it. And then my assistant is telling me, hey, you know what? In the village you go, there is no grocery, there is no bakery, there is nothing to eat in the village. And you don't have a car. So how are you going to do that? I told her, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm going to figure it out. I said, are you sure? I said, yes, it's going to be okay. I said, yes, it's going to be okay. So, all right. So let's go for it. I go there, and then I see the landlord of the house. The landlord tells me, I see that you have your luggage, everything, but you have nothing to eat.
You're gonna die.
What? I said, oh yeah, but it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna figure it out. He said, no, you're not going to figure it out. There is nothing in the village.
They're French.
Yeah, like you said.
You have to have food and wine.
Yeah. The thing is, some places you don't have a car, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I
And
didn't
that was
have.
one of those.
Yeah. So he told me, okay, in 2 hours.
By that time, you had decided not to.
Yeah,
then
I had
drink.
decided at this
Okay.
moment. So he tells me, okay, I give you 2 hours. I come back in 2 hours, and we're going to go to the supermarket and do some shopping, and you're gonna eat. And you're gonna buy some food. So, oh my God, right? Everybody wants me to eat. Like, okay. Then we went there. I took some water. I took some dry fruits and nuts, this kind of stuff. So I put that somewhere after that in the house, in a corner, don't see it, and then I can begin my drive.
So you had food in the house.
Yeah, I had food in the house.
God, that's worse.
Actually, I don't know, because I was like 100% committed, and I didn't want, I was like
Did you buy things that you didn't like?
could be a great idea. But actually, I was saying, okay, in the beginning, I wanted to buy like vegetables, of course, and fruits. But the problem is, the landlord comes back and see everything. But now it's not gonna say, but he didn't eat. So this is why I just wanted to take some dry fruits and these things like that.
Yeah.
And by the way, he didn't see what I bought. And I put that in a corner and I forgot it. I just forgot it. Right. If some things happen, I have something that actually I don't want to use that.
Yeah.
And then I begin my dry fast with the first day.
Right.
And first day I began to take some videos and say, hello, it's Eric. Day one, I decided to write a book about how to get rich, happy, and proud of you. But in the beginning, I didn't decide to talk about my dry fast.
Right.
So I wanted to do it just by myself. So just the left-hand pages of the book.
Right.
And the second day, I had the voice telling me, right now you have to talk about your 12 days dry fast.
Yeah. And I noticed, because I've started reading your book. And I noticed that every chapter is a day.
Exactly.
Yes.
The right hand page is about the 12 day dry fast, and the left hand pages is the business blueprint.
Yeah.
So, yes, I began to, but I was thinking everybody will say I'm crazy. Like,
I understand that.
right, you don't do this kind of stuff. You don't say 12 days with no food or water. It's impossible. But I knew it was possible. But there is a difference between knowing it's possible and really, really living it. So day one, everything's good. I was used to do it. Day two, okay. Day three, okay. Now things are moving. But I was used to it. Right now, day four.
That's when you normally stop.
Yeah.
Before.
Usually. And the hardest part was day 4.5 and then going further. So
What was hard about it? What did you notice at that moment? Was it physically your body
physically
was?
It was okay. Physically it was good.
You were not feeling hungry by that time?
Actually, at the moment, like in the beginning, of course you're hungry, and at the moment your body begins to adapt and find the reserve fats and everything. So, I studied so much about that. So, it's okay.
You knew what was going on.
Yeah, I knew what was going on. So, I was used to that. So, because her heart began to beat faster, there's some things, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of things that happen, in your body when you begin to dry fast, really. Your body becomes hot inside, really, really hot, and everything changes, inside your body, and the smell and everything, there's a lot of things happening. So, for some people who are, afraid, I don't give an advice, don't do it. You don't do it, this kind of stuff like that. And usually, and I told that in the book, don't do that. I knew what I was doing, but you don't do that.
You were very well informed. It was not a crazy decision.
Exactly.
You knew what to expect. You knew,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's important advice.
Yeah.
You don't want people to go run and go.
I'm going to do it as well. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. So, what happened at that moment? Day 5. So many fears.
fears, like
Fears.
psychological
Real
fears.
psychological fear.
Wow.
Because-
What was fear about? What?
Fear of death.
Fear
I'm
of
gonna die because imagine I'm alone. Nobody knows that I'm there.
death. Yeah.
Nobody knows that I'm there. Nobody. My sister knows I'm there, but she doesn't know that I went there with no food or water.
Right.
The landlord doesn't know. Nobody knows. No
Yes.
friends, nobody, nothing. I'm writing a book about my story with like these two books, left 10 pages, right 10 pages. And at the same time, I make some videos. So I put the link into the book. Like
Yes.
people can see and relate and see exactly what's going on
Brilliant. Good
for
idea.
each video. So people can see that it's real. I'm losing weight.
Yes.
And they hear my voice. And because there is no water, I'm losing a little bit of my voice. Because this part, they need water, So when
Yes, it is. That's
Yeah.
saliva, yeah.
Yeah, so at the moment I was begin to talk like that.
Yeah.
You imagine my face, losing a lot of weight, beginning to talk like that, and then when you see the video like day 12 or day 13, don't watch it directly. I always say that to people, don't go to day 1 to day 12 because it's gonna be a shock.
Right.
Because like somebody from my team, so she was really angry about me when she saw the video, because it was like her father when he was at the last stage of cancer.
Right. Yeah, because it's serious stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
12
yeah.
days, sir.
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight and I had like really low fats. I was like that, and my eyes was bigger and everything. But the rest of the body and psychologically, mentally, everything was good.
So why did you keep going?
Why did you? Because I was committed
Committed to what?
to finish that book.
To finish the book.
Yeah.
Because you had heard the voice and said, finish,
Fin-
write the book.
Write the book. The voice didn't tell me to fast. I decided to fast.
Yeah, that's what I was
Very
thinking.
important. I took that decision because I wanted that.
Yeah. Right.
But at the moment, I felt like there
But
was a
you
connection.
knew that you were safe at an
Yeah.
intellectual level,
I
even though the
knew.
fear had kicked in.
Yeah.
So you did it anyway.
I did it anyway. I crossed the fear. I say, I'm committed. And I knew at the same time, if I was taking the fruit, the dry fruits and the water, it wouldn't be better. Because I know that when you break your fast, it's not like that, now I feel better. It's not like that.
Oh, it's
Because-
not.
No, because your body has to, okay, right now, the body was taking some reserve, everything in the fats, and right now something's going on. So the body has to adapt to change the whole thing. So it takes a few hours.
Right.
It takes a few hours for the body to adapt, and then after that, okay, right now let's go back to the stomach and find all the energy and everything in there. But if not, if it's inside, it's inside. So I was feeling uncomfortable, but I knew that the
physical
solution,
part.
the physical, not really physical, emotional.
Emotional.
The hardest part was emotional. Fear at the moment I will stay there, died. I didn't know it was my first time.
But all fears are about death, aren't they?
Or fears are about death. At this moment, day 5,
Yeah.
death. Like at the moment you're going to die and you don't know why and nobody will know, and it's totally crazy to do this kind of thing.
So what did you learn out of that experience? Let's talk about not everything you learned, because I
Yeah.
imagine it's maybe the two things.
Yeah.
Number one things. Looking back,
Yeah.
what has changed?
Number one, life is not about food. That kind of crazy. I am not alive because I eat.
Okay, you're not alive because you
I'm
eat.
not alive because
Why
I
are
eat.
you alive then? My
I'm
grandmother would
I'm
not
alive.
agree with that.
Yeah, sure. A large big part of my family as well. I'm alive because somebody is renewing every second, breathing
Right.
life inside of me.
That's beautiful.
And because I understand that, I get that in myself. Because at the moment, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, it's a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the moment, you can't be in a temporary mode and saying, okay, I'm just hold my breath and it's going to be okay. No, you have to find peace in that situation.
Yeah, I imagine.
You have to find peace because it's too long to say, okay, it's going to be okay at the moment. No, because when you fast, you don't sleep that much because you don't digest. So you have 5 hours of sleep. So days are extremely long, 19 hours of. And imagine you have nothing to prepare, nothing to wash, everything. If you imagine all your days, and you put out of the place for food, you have unlimited days.
You do have a lot of time, don't you?
You have a lot of time. You don't imagine. You have a lot of time. You just spend 1 or 2 days with no food. Wow.
Yeah.
People don't imagine. Food is the rhythm of the day.
Yeah.
For people, like you have in the morning.
But you said that what you found is that there is another rhythm.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Exactly.
Am I hearing you right?
Exactly.
There's something beyond food that keeps us alive.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
This is definitely.
How is that connected to business? Because not everybody knows that you are a successful businessman. And you have applied the principles of what you learned during those 12 days to business, and your business is booming. Right? Because you're helping people, and people are taking their own businesses to.
Sure.
So what's the connection?
The connection. Exactly like
I'm getting a sense that there's a spiritual connection, not just an intellectual one. But
for sure. Like life is not about food, business is not about money. What does it mean?
Oh, okay. Life is not about food, and business is not about money. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain, please. There is a deep connection between food and money. Each time people lack of food, they are upset, they are angry, they overreact.
Yeah, we call it hangry.
Hangry becomes angry.
Exactly.
Right?
Hungry, angry, hangry.
Yeah. Why that? Okay, I'm angry. And why? Why should I overreact and be angry because something's going on in my body?
Good question.
Why? And what I finally understood is just your soul is telling you something. And when you eat, because everything from your emotion comes from the belly, right? So when you eat, everything just shuts up. Shh. But when it's finished, then the soul and the body begins to say, hey, that's the moment to express who you really are and what you think, and that you are bad in your life and you need that. And then, I'm angry, I have to eat.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the connections, we know there's a connection between food and emotions. In actual fact, in our Western society, we have a lot of people that put on a lot of weight because they get stressed and they eat.
Exactly. When you're stressed, you eat. Now, actually, it's the contrary. You are stressed anyway, so you eat.
That is true.
So you eat
to control
and to say, shut up.
Yes.
Then your body begins to digest and everything. You're like, I feel better. Of course, there is the pleasure of eating. Of course, there is the pleasure. But the real thing is about people when they lack a little bit. They begin to panic, and it's the same thing for money.
What's the transference to business is not about money?
It's the same thing. People believe that business is about money.
What is it about?
It's about massive value that you have to give to people.
It's about taking care of the soul of the community.
Yeah, it's about understanding the other one, understanding exactly his needs, and having the right message to communicate to that person and say, I have something for you, and according to that, I will give you that value to you, and I will receive money according to that. But here's the problem. When some people, they lack of money, at the same time, they get angry, they get upset, they begin to
hangry.
Yeah.
But in business, they get hangry.
You got the point.
Kick the cat.
It's the same thing. It's the mentality of lack. Instead of having the mentality of abundance, this is the same thing. And I really understood abundance when I was alone with no food or water. I finally understood that abundance is already there.
Right.
Because if I don't give nothing, I receive nothing. This is what happens in the business. And I was like, okay, 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, I still leave. In the morning, I had my routine, I was making my sports, everything. I still there. I'm writing a book. I'm walking in a village. I'm having a video. I'm thinking about so many things. Intellectually, it was going so fast. Spiritually, my connection was so deep. And after a few days, at the moment, after the 8, 9, 10, I felt better.
Fantastic. Okay.
Why? Because I passed all the different crises. Day 5 was the first crisis, and day 7 was hard as well, because I wanted to stop everything. And when you see the video, you see that day was hard.
Yeah.
I wanted to stop everything, but doing the video was giving me some courage and hope to finish.
Right, I get it.
So I had 12 days to finish that book, and I finished it. And the day 12, you see my face, and the video, I finished the book. And I was so happy, not because of the dry fast, because I finished the book.
Because you finished the book, you had done. You
I achieved.
kept going. You had achieved it. Beyond all odds. Really.
Exactly.
And sometimes that's what resilience is about, isn't it? The ability to keep going, taking care of yourself at the same time. Because you didn't eat and drink, but you were taking care of yourself, your emotional and psychological. Is that correct?
Exactly. Actually,
business is, I imagine, but from what you're saying, is the same thing. There's a different rhythm in money, and the rhythm is value.
Yeah, exactly. It's so counterintuitive for so many people. When you stop eating, oh no, it's gonna be you're gonna have no. When I stop eating, it's better.
Yeah. And I just wonder, for our viewers, how beneficial it would be, because we talk with leaders and managers and teach them about resilience, and teach them about mental health, and there's a lot of people that are out there in business stressed and nervous and anxious and depressed, and they keep going, and it's not about keeping going, it's about taking care of themselves. And I wonder if we all switch our attitude, instead of being obsessed with the task, if we focus on the value that we're offering, what would happen to that stress?
It's so counterintuitive for people.
It is.
I have to do the things.
The fear is not to get the money.
Exactly. Exactly. And so at the moment we attach to all these things. And at the moment, it's when you let go that all the things come. And spending these 12 days made me understand that, okay, you are already that amazing person. You don't have to prove anything.
Absolutely.
So right now, when you do something for significance. You do something because you want to give. But I also know right now how to stop. When I'm tired, I just stop. That's it.
You know when to pull away.
Wow,
so, Eric.
Amazing.
I've read part of your book. I'm in the process of reading it. But so far, I like what I see. I think this is very much a powerful book. Eric, you're a powerful man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Not in the traditional sense, but in many senses. And you have the respect of a lot of people, including myself, and you have a beautiful story. And I hope that your story is an inspirational story for our listeners, and because there are many important lessons on resilience there. So, Eric, thank you very much. The book is 12 days. 12 days. 12 days. Where can they get a copy of this?
12days.co, Amazon. You will find
in Amazon.
Amazon.com.
And it's Eric. How do you say it in French?
Behanzin.
It's written over here. Eric Behanzin.
Thank you
very
so
much, my
Peter.
friend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.